If you run a chiropractic or any healthcare practice, I'm sure it has not been all smooth sailing. In fact, I'm sure you've had tough times. We all have. And the stress of paying bills, making payroll, the demand of patients, and problem employees can sometimes be suffocating. We all face burnout, and I don't want you to burn out before you actually reach your full potential. Today's case study is going to show you a doctor that may be just like you yesterday, but today he is crushing it with this proven system. Let's take a look. The coolest thing about what I do is I get to save doctors' lives just like you're saving patients. And I turned my attention to saving doctors' lives because I became so passionate about helping our profession make sure they have the support that they need to build profitable practices. But the whole secret of work-life balance, I hate to tell you, is a little bit of a facade. There's not a lot of balance in building a successful practice. It's more about focusing on sprints and making sure you're present at all times. Again, remember, it's not all about quantity of time, it's about quality of time. And just like you, I have extremely busy sprints. In fact, I remember one day I was stressed because I had just finished up several strategy calls with doctors. I had just gone live and done a webinar. I was preparing a slide deck for a presentation that I'm doing in Alaska here in just a little bit. Where's all my Alaskan doctors out there? Whoop, whoop. But I was stressed and I was feeling the pressure to wrap things up so I could move on to the next project when all of a sudden I heard my email notifications bell go off, and I glanced over to my email and I noticed a subject line that said setting records, and that caught my attention. And I read this email from one of our doctors, Dr. Chad. Now the coolest thing about Dr. Chad is he's only been with us for about 4 months. 4 months ago he attended one of our live IQ Accelerator events. This is where we get together and we literally dive deep into the processes and principles of how to take data and turn it into dollars, how to make sure that we can reignite your purpose, your passion, but your profits as well. And Dr. Chad, at that event, went all in with one of our programs. And in that program, he began applying the principles. Now, the coolest thing about this case study is that Dr. Chad had been in practice for over 25 years. He wasn't a new doc, this wasn't a new game to him, but he admitted that he came to the event as kind of a last hope, that he was burnt out, that he was really thinking about shutting his doors and just retiring early. But at this event, because of the way that we work with our doctors, he felt support. He saw a path to profitability. And he shared that in 4 short months, that they were having record collection months. And the coolest thing is he was actually working less hours. Can you imagine that? Working less hours and generating more income? That is what a data-driven doc does. And I don't want to just focus on the profits because that's cool, but what was amazing is that, you know, being in practice and serving, sometimes we get this servant mentality that a servant has to be broke. And I want you to smash that false belief. That is so far from the truth. And this is what was so cool about Dr. Chad's email, is from his own mouth, he said, not only are we the most profitable we've ever been, but we're actually getting our best patient outcomes, and I'm happier than I've ever been in practice in all of my 25 years. Guys, that's why we're here, is to have joy in our work. If you're not having joy in your work, something's broken, something's missing, and we have a proven framework to reignite your purpose, to reignite your passion, and to drive those profits so that you can find joy in your work again. Don't be a drifting, broke doc. Come be a profitable, passionate, driven doc. So to help this community, we have actually created a 4-step guide on how to beat burnout, how to reignite your purpose, your passion, your profits, the exact steps that unlocked my practice from moving from $1 million to $2 million to $3 million. Who wants it? Just type in the comments below, I'm in. So the secret to Dr. Chad's transformation was literally just putting in a system, and we call it the Driven system. It's our Driven framework that allows you to identify 4 key things that by putting this into your practice, you now have clarity, Clarity of where you've been, clarity where you're going. Your team and you are all on the same page, and it starts with finding your prime mover, the number one process that if you fixed, it would have a tremendous outcome on the rest of the data below it. The second thing is making sure your team understands how to make data-driven decisions on lead measures. Once we identify the prime mover, we look upstream and we identify the thing that needs to be fixed. Number 3 is really looking at the team scoreboard. We have to know, are we winning or losing? Are we moving the needle or not? Are we improving or are we actually accelerating improvement? And when do we celebrate? Like, we have to have a score. Nobody likes to play a game where there's no score. We have to celebrate, and a scoreboard allows us to do that. The fourth one is that cadence of responsibility, that cadence of accountability, and that's why we put in a weekly cadence, a daily cadence, where you and your team are looking very quickly at where the focus needs to be and how are we doing at moving that prime mover. That's the system that we put into Dr. Chad's practice. Now, the details of it are simply found in what we call the Profit Accelerator system, and it's an incredible 8-week transformation that a practice can go through on how to literally turn their data into dollars. Now, in this community, we find that a lot of doctors are suffering with one of two things, either low collections or too much time in the practice. They don't have any time back. They're being burnt out. They're working too many hours. What is your big domino? Like, if we could solve that for you, it would change your life forever. Is it collections or time? Just post that in the comments below. And don't forget, guys, to make sure you hit the like button. We want to share this information with as many doctors as possible. We are passionate about making sure our profession transforms, doesn't just improve, like literally transforms into the most powerful healthcare system on the planet, and I need your help in doing that. So make sure you hit the like button, and don't forget to adjust the notifications, turn them on so you don't miss a single great episode of the Data-Driven Practice. So let me share with you exactly what happened with Dr. Rob's practice. In his email, he shared with me that now he had more time. He had more profitability, that they were actually hiring more team, because they now had the capacity to help more patients. He got very clear on the very specific patients that he and his team wanted to serve and help them transform their lives. That is what we call a data-driven practice, and because now Rob went from the state of frustration, of overwhelm, of burnout, to this new state of joy, happiness, passionate about what they do, profitable for what they do. In fact, I once heard a speaker from stage share with me that, doctors don't burn out, they just get broke. Well, yeah, if we're broke, then we kind of lose our passion. We start to feel like people don't value what we do. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, we value what you do, doc. You are the one that have the power to transform patients' lives. But we have to have the profits. And by pairing profitability with outcomes, we become transformers in our community that are saving patients' lives. We're giving them back the ability to live fulfilled lives. So join us. We've got a challenge coming up that's called Turn Your Data into Dollars, and it's a challenge that you'll go through, and in 10 days you'll see exactly our frameworks that will help you unlock the potential in your practice. Click the link below. I want to see you, doc, on the inside. Come join us and be a part of this community.